Barcelona's Summer Transfer Revolution. Barcelona's board have placed 11 deals on the negotiating table, with some already officially completed. At the same time, 5 players are set to leave the club, with some already officially completed. The club has also made decisions regarding the futures of 5 players currently out on loan at other teams. Meanwhile, 3 La Masia talents have already secured their places in Barcelona's first-team squad. And now, as part of our transfer window series, we bring you Barcelona's Summer Revolution. So stay with us. Welcome back to BePart Sports. The future of the loan players. Ansu Fati. Monaco are closing in on a permanent deal for Ansu Fati after advanced talks with the player ahead of a full transfer from Barcelona. The French club have become increasingly convinced about keeping the Spanish forward following the season he produced, scoring 12 goals across all competitions. As a result, the club are seriously considering activating the €11 million purchase option. Marc-Andre ter Stegen. The goalkeeper has become more open to the idea of leaving and is even willing to consider a move outside Spain. However, his plan is to return to Barcelona first and take part in several pre-season and friendly matches to regain match sharpness and showcase his level to interested clubs. Ter Stegen is also aware that the club's position has not changed and that he is not considered part of Hansi Flick's long-term project. For their part, Barcelona are prepared to be flexible in facilitating a potential departure, even if that means approving a loan move in order to bring the situation to a satisfactory conclusion. Hector Fort. Following the end of his loan spell at Elche, speculation around his Barcelona future has started to grow. The 19-year-old Spanish fullback is currently leaning towards staying as part of Barcelona's plans for the coming years, with the club convinced by his potential and keen to continue his development within the squad. Ander Astralaga. The young goalkeeper's journey with Barcelona appears closer to its end than ever before after the club made its decision on his future even before his loan spell at Granada came to an end. With his contract nearing its expiry, both sides seem to be heading towards a parting of ways, allowing Astralaga to find a new club where he can get the minutes he has struggled to find at Barcelona. Iñaki Peña. The Spanish goalkeeper looks set to bring this chapter to a close after losing his place in the side. At the same time, the club that had shown interest in signing him has cooled on the idea of making the move permanent, despite it being a strong possibility just a few months ago. As for Barcelona, the picture is fairly clear. Competition for the goalkeeping spots is intense, and the sporting department does not see a significant role for Peña in next season's plans. With the transfer window approaching, Peña now appears increasingly likely to seek a new destination where he can play regularly and get his career back on track. Players set to leave. Rooney Bardghji. According to the report, the player would prefer a loan move in order to secure more playing time while keeping the door open for a future return to Barcelona. On the other hand, the Catalan club are not ruling out a permanent sale if it provides the financial flexibility needed to complete new signings this summer. Robert Lewandowski. The Polish striker said goodbye to the Barcelona fans a few weeks ago. Interest in Lewandowski is not limited to clubs in Saudi Arabia or Major League Soccer. Several European sides are also monitoring his situation closely and could enter the race for his signature in the coming weeks. Andreas Christensen. The Danish defender was initially expected to stay, but contract renewal talks have not progressed as planned. According to Sport, Barcelona have offered the player a new deal on reduced wages, an offer he has yet to accept. With negotiations still ongoing and no agreement in sight, a number of clubs have started tracking his situation closely in case he decides to move on. Saudi clubs remain among the strongest contenders for his signature, particularly given the financial packages on offer, which could make a departure increasingly attractive for the player. Jules Koundé. After the impressive season Eric Garcia produced in 2025-26, Barcelona are becoming increasingly convinced that he can be relied upon at right back, placing Koundé's position under pressure for the first time since arriving at the club. According to Sport, the French defender's performances for his national team over the coming months could play a major role in shaping his future at Camp Nou. Barcelona no longer view Koundé as untouchable in the way they once did, and if a huge offer arrives, the club could be willing to listen. Marc Casado. According to Sport, the Catalan club would be open to selling the midfielder if a suitable offer arrives, particularly as the board look to generate funds in the months ahead. Among the clubs keeping a close eye on his situation is Manchester United, who are looking to strengthen their midfield options. At the same time, reports suggest that Casado's agent, Jorge Mendes, has already started exploring the player's options amid growing speculation over a possible summer exit in search of a bigger role and more regular minutes. Casado's current market value is estimated at around €26.3 million, making him one of the assets Barcelona could cash in on if they decide to go down that route. The deals. Anthony Gordon. The Catalan club have reached an agreement with Newcastle United to sign the English winger for £69.3 million after talks that stretched over a period of time but accelerated sharply in recent days. Gabriel Veneno. A new name making waves in Brazil, with some already labelling him the next Neymar. Barcelona are closing in on a deal for the 16-year-old Brazilian talent, who currently plays for Atletico Mineiro. Negotiations between both clubs have reached an advanced stage, with Barcelona determined to move early before other clubs enter the race. Atletico Mineiro are expected to receive around €20 million for the transfer. However, Veneno will not move to Spain immediately. He will remain with his current club until he turns 18, before Barcelona can officially register and bring him into the squad. Bernardo Silva. Hansi Flick has given the green light to Barcelona's board to push ahead with a move for Bernardo Silva, with the Portuguese midfielder now available on a free transfer after his Manchester City contract expires at the end of the 2025-26 season. In recent days, Barcelona have intensified contact with the player's agent, Jorge Mendes, to finalise the framework of the deal. Talks are currently focused on salary structure, bonuses, and performance-related incentives before reaching a final agreement. Marcus Rashford. Barcelona continue working on the Marcus Rashford deal after already reaching an agreement with the player on personal terms. The English forward has shown real flexibility in negotiations, even accepting a wage reduction to help push the move to Camp Nou through. Despite full agreement with the player, the main obstacle remains talks with Manchester United. The English club are insisting on €30 million for a permanent sale, the same figure included in the purchase option from the previous loan deal. Barcelona, meanwhile, are trying to find a formula that fits their current financial situation, but United have no intention of discussing another loan and are only open to a permanent transfer. Because of that, the coming days will be decisive in determining whether Barcelona can meet United's demands and close one of the standout deals of the summer. Julian Alvarez. The player still sees Barcelona as his preferred long-term destination, despite strong interest from several top European clubs. According to reports, the Argentine striker has turned down offers from Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain, choosing instead to wait for a potential move to Camp Nou in the next transfer window. Meanwhile, Barcelona are continuing to monitor his situation closely, with Hansi Flick viewing Alvarez as one of the key names capable of leading the team's attacking project in the coming years. But getting this deal done will not be easy. Atletico Madrid are standing firm on their star man and are only willing to consider a fee in the region of €150 million, making any potential negotiations extremely complicated. Even so, both clubs have not ruled out finding an alternative structure, especially if Barcelona decide to include players in the deal to reduce the overall cost. Joško Gvardiol. Journalist Gerard Romero has confirmed that Joško Gvardiol's name has been offered to FC Barcelona in recent days, with the player presented to the club rather than coming through any direct push from Barca themselves. Romero added that the Croatian defender is still only being considered as an option at this stage, with no final decision taken by the club regarding a possible move. Hamza Abdelkarim. Barcelona are highly impressed with what the young Egyptian striker Hamza Abdelkarim is showing, to the point where the club are considering activating his buy option worth around €3 million following his standout performances with the youth team. Hamza has scored 6 goals in 10 matches, catching the attention of Hansi Flick's coaching staff, who could hand him a chance to train with the first team during pre-season preparations. Jide Canvo. He's become one of the names generating real interest in the market after the big progress he's shown over the recent period. Barcelona, for their part, are monitoring the situation calmly, but their interest in the player is already there. The club's board believe Can Vot fits the direction of the current project, especially with his market value estimated at around €20 million, a figure seen as manageable for Barcelona compared to other options on the table. The player also has international experience at youth level, having represented France U21 on 6 occasions, while his contract with Crystal Palace runs until summer 2029. Jakub Kiwior. The Polish defender is firmly back on Barcelona's radar after Hansi Flick recommended his signing, placing him among the top options to strengthen the left-sided centre-back position next season. According to Rudy Galletti, Deco has already started working behind the scenes and has held contacts with André Villas-Boas to discuss the details of a potential deal. João Cancelo. As for the Cancelo situation, it remains open despite its complications. The player is not against staying at Barcelona for another 2 years and has made his desire to continue in the shirt very clear. However, the main obstacle remains Al Hilal's stance, with the Saudi club unwilling to let him go easily and demanding around €15 million to approve any deal. Alex Ramiro. Barcelona's goalkeeping situation is starting to move again, but the path is still full of complicated details. Alex Ramiro has shown a desire to try a new challenge, and according to Mundo Deportivo, he places Barcelona at the top of his options. Inside the club, there is real interest in the Spanish goalkeeper, but the financial situation means the board are taking their time and carefully assessing every step. Deco is following the situation closely, especially as Barcelona are planning a reshuffle in the goalkeeping department in the near future, with the possible departures of Ter Stegen and Iñaki Peña, alongside the expected continuity of Szczęsny and Joan Garcia. Real Sociedad, meanwhile, are open to a sale if a suitable offer arrives, with the expected fee for the deal ranging between €8 million and €10 million. Andrea Cambiaso. At fullback, Barcelona continue to monitor Andrea Cambiaso of Juventus, a player highly appreciated by the technical staff for his ability to operate on both sides, as well as his consistent attacking contributions. Sport reports that Juventus value the player at around €40 million, while several other European clubs are also keeping a close eye on him, which could make the race for his signature even more difficult in the transfer market. Cambiaso is one of those names whose stock has risen sharply over the last 2 seasons, thanks to his constant development and ability to cover multiple roles, exactly the kind of profile Barcelona are always looking for when strengthening the squad. 3 La Masia players have already secured a place in Barcelona's first-team plans. Hansi Flick has already begun shaping his ideas for next season, and it looks like La Masia graduates will play an important role in his new project. The German coach has been left with very positive impressions of several young talents who have featured with the first team recently, most notably Álvaro Cortés, Xavi Espart, and Tommy Marquez.